Puppy Trades! I want to do a video analysis update on Bitcoin as well as Microstrategy, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Silver, Pan American Silver, and First Majestic Silver. I have exposure to a lot of these directly, especially in the crypto world, like CONY, MSTY, and YBTC, as well as BITO. Yes, I know that's a lot of tickers. They pay huge dividends though, so lots of tickers, lots of dividends from the crypto sphere. And I also own Pan American Silver and First Majestic Silver. I also love making sure you guys know all of these updates, yes, even the ones you don't think are updates about the stock market, directly relate to transactions that go on in my brokerage accounts at least once a week. So one of my best positions ever is CONY and Coinbase, heavily covered on this channel. BITO, also one of my best positions ever, heavily covered on this channel, bought around this range. MSTY, I think, is going to be in the running for a great position. And Litecoin, Litecoin's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start. I think Litecoin is going to end up being a winner though. So let's look at some of my recent calls though. Yes, these stocks all appeared in some recent work on this page, on this YouTube channel. So congrats to the Puppy Trades page. Thank you so much for subscribing to this page. Thank you so much for liking these videos. Yes, I know I can be a little zany. I know I can be a little controversial, but let's be honest, I'm pretty damn good. NVIDIA, large wave 1, large wave 2. I'm tweeting about get all these losers out of the stock market. What are you going to do when NVIDIA blows past this high? And then when it did, you know, and I made NVDY one of my largest positions, I didn't start a Discord. I didn't, take a victory lap and start posting pictures of my hot wife in the Bahamas and saying, hey, if you start a Discord like me, you can be rich too. No, I came out and I said 1, 2, large wave 3, highest high on the monthly RSI, shallow wave 4. So what am I expecting? A large wave 5 within this big wave 3 cycle. That's why I'm holding one of my best investments ever, one of the best dividend paying vehicles ever. Yes, I bought it right after the inception, took on that new fund risk and got paid for it with NVDY, with CONY as well. So that was NVIDIA. Bang, but I didn't just cover NVIDIA. Look at these. Oh man, Bitcoin, wave 1, wave 2. So I said this is a large wave 1 and a large wave 2, a large wave 3 with the highest high on the weekly RSI, an ABC correction for a shallow wave 4. So I was looking at for a wave 5 higher. Bang! Looks like that's going to happen. Looking for at least a new high. We'll get into more specific details with Bitcoin later. And then Microstrategy, boom! I took a trip to the year when MicroStrategy hit 3,000. I think it might be this year, and not much changed, but they lived underwater. Large wave 1, large wave 2, huge wave 3. Highest high on the weekly RSI, shallow wave 4. Actually, not so shallow with this high beta MicroStrategy between the 50 to 61.8% retracement. So I was looking for another high within wave 5. I was buying MSTY. I'm getting dividends from huge volatile crypto names. And I'm going to talk about why I'm going to keep holding some of these for a bit, getting these dividends from these cryptos. So just to refresh real quick, I think for crypto, Ethereum and Dogecoin and Litecoin, they're going to get a little more attention in this video. Maybe they have better RR. I've covered Bitcoin a lot recently. Large wave 1, large wave 2, and then, so I believe this is a huge wave 3 in progress. This wave 3 is subdivided into 5 waves. Wave 1, wave 2, a wave 3 that's clearly the largest wave, and it makes the highest high on the weekly RSI. We have a ABC wave 4 correction between the 38.2 to 50% retracement. So I'm looking for at least the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low to give a minimum wave 5 target of $80,000. So that's the minimum target. And would that be the tippy top if Bitcoin reached that? In my opinion, no. I'm not going to be selling YBTC, MSTY, BITO. I might take a little profits on BITO, but I'm not going to be selling any of those premium collecting positions, because I think that even if wave 5 just ends at 80,000 and Bitcoin ends a wave 3, there would be a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. So that's a very kind of minimum expectation for me as an Elliott wave theorist. Even if Bitcoin puts in a marginal high at 80,000, there would be a shallow wave 4, and we would begin a whole new impulse higher. So that's why I am going to be holding YBTC, MSTY, and CONY, continuing to collect these premiums. I'm probably going to keep holding a good amount of BITO. Now, this might be a little too bullish, but what's the other wave 5 target? Well, it's the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. So that's the other reason I'm not going to race to sell BITO at 80,000, because if wave 5 is the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low, then Bitcoin can go all the way up to 91,122.06. That's not going to be the exact number, but yes, 91,000 could be the wave 5 target. So that could be a little further, and Bitcoin has a very high beta, so there's a good chance that wave 5 could be all the way up at 90,000. But even when, if a local top is put in between 80 to 90,000, I think it ends a large wave 3 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. All right, could it get any more bullish than that? Could Bitcoin just go blow past 90,000? Well, it could. And if it does, what I'm going to be looking for is this weekly RSI. If this weekly RSI goes and breaks above 85.46, there is a chance that this could evolve into something even more potentially bullish. I'm not going to get into this video for now. I think the count's pretty clean. Large wave 1, large wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. I think the wave 5 target zone is between 80,000. Personally, I think it gets all the way to 90,000. The length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. Even if a local top is put in, I think that ends a wave 3 correction. Now, if a local top is put in before 85.46 is broken on the weekly RSI, this wave 4 correction is not going to be anything to sneeze at. Okay, it's going to be, kind of a big deal. You're going to hear some of these Bitcoin going to zero conspiracies. That's why collecting that premium and having a big stomach and also being really deep in the money on a lot of these crypto positions is a good thing. So that's the bitty MSTR. Oh man, what? Boom! Oh man, come on now. 1, 2, wave 3, highest high, shallow wave 4. Oh man, and this was an ABC correction, but ending between the 100 to 127.2. It ends at the 127.2% extension and the 61.8% retracement. I bought MSTY around 29. It's doing pretty well right now. I think this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. This is a large wave 3 in an ABC wave 4 correction. So wave 5 is either the length of wave 1 or it's the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low per Elliott wave. If it's the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, in Microstrategy's case, it wouldn't make a new high above the wave 3 high, and wave 5 has to break the wave 3 high in Elliott wave theory. I believe then that the proper wave 5 target is going to be the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low, and that can take MicroStrategy all the way up to 2,880, which is why I am also thinking that if Bitcoin and MicroStrategy are both going on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse, it's a little different subdivision that if Bitcoin goes with MicroStrategy and MicroStrategy does end up going to 2,880 being the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low, that would also kind of hint that Bitcoin's wave 5 will also be the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. So correlation analysis killed the cat, but I am looking for, a little aggressive of a wave 5. So that is MicroStrategy. Let's get into Ethereum. A little more correlation analysis. I've had, I'll be honest. I've spread some conspiracy theories about Ethereum ETFs, the spot Ethereum ETF, and I had this kind of weird scenario in my head earlier in this year that around the time, believe it or not, around the time the spot Ethereum ETF was being released, that the meme stocks were going to be exploding, and the institutions were going to be trying to blame the swift collapse or some type of financial disaster on Redditors and NFTs, and that this was going to be around the time that the spot Ethereum ETF was being approved. And that all sounded really harebrained, right? That all sounded really harebrained, but here we are. Silver's exploding. Why is silver exploding? What's the real answer? Right? I mean, I'm sure there's some real answer in some financial media article, but aren't we supposed to be led to believe it's because the Redditors have come back and Roaring Kitty has come back? That's why the silver squeeze is happening, right? Well, would you know that actually right before Roaring Kitty came back last Sunday night, right before Roaring Kitty came back, there was actually a big headline about the spot Ethereum ETF being approved, potentially, the Saturday before that. And so now, at the very end of the day, with Ethereum, we had AMC rip into the close on the news that the spot Ethereum ETF is probably going to be approved. So what was my conspiracy theory? Well, my conspiracy theory was that the NFTs are going to become legal to invest in when the spot Ethereum ETF gets approved. What's that mean? Well, Solana, Polkadot, and a few other cryptocurrencies, but really the big idea, basically all of the cryptocurrency platforms that are associated with non-fungible tokens run on the Ethereum network. That might seem like a broad statement, but all of the accredited non-fungible tokens and non-fungible token cryptocurrencies run on the Ethereum blockchain. And yes, this is where we get into a little more conspiracy territory. I also predicted around, where was it, around here? Yes, right around here. I predicted a major low in Ethereum, and I said that the call out was coming from an episode of The Simpsons, which was about Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson uploading their bodies to the NFT blockchain and joining the Ethereum blockchain, and becoming a part of this NFT bubble. And I looked at a lot of things that were going on, and I said, wait a minute. I think that this is how they're going to blame, or this is kind of how they're going to do the collapse of the US dollar. They're going to blame it on NFTs. And this was this wild theory that I had, but here we are. AMC is ripping, and GameStop is ripping with Ethereum on some days, on news of the spot Ethereum ETF coming out. Silver is exploding, and Roaring Kitty's come back, and now we have Ethereum ripping on the spot ETF potentially being approved. I just think that this is really interesting. I'm going to talk about silver for a little bit. Maybe that's all just a little wild, but just have that in the back of your brain. That I was talking about a scenario where we woke up and the meme stocks were ripping, and the spot Ethereum ETF was coming out, and we were going to be in a position to blame the collapse of fiat on Redditors and NFTs. A wild harebrained scenario. But here we are. Silver is squeezing. Roaring Kitty is back. And wow, that was a perfect hit. Thank you, bar chart. 1,523.007. 1,533.781. So it looks like we're at 0.077. So I think for Ethereum, the proper count is that this is a large wave 1. This is an ABC wave 2 correction. And this is another wave 1 and an ABC wave 2 correction. That's a very clean ABC correction. So around this wave 2 ending, by the way, I have a lot of posts. Yes, you can go look at my history. I have too many great Bitcoin calls and too many great Ethereum calls to put in this video. That's why I put these most recent ones, because that's legitimately the case. I have too many amazing Bitcoin and Ethereum calls, so I just included the most recent ones. But I post right around here talking about that episode of The Simpsons and talking about how Ethereum is going to end up being, and the spot Ethereum ETF in particular, is going to end up being connected to NFTs and the meme stocks. Why? Well, when a spot Ethereum ETF is approved, basically the idea behind the theory was that when a spot Ethereum ETF is approved, it is basically going to become impossible, in my opinion, which is definitely not professional or licensed by any means. It's basically going to become impossible for the Securities and Exchange Commission to argue that NFTs aren't investable. Why? Well, because if someone can buy spot Ethereum on a regulated exchange, and that's been approved, then basically the whole concept of investing in NFTs has become approved. And I talked about how this was going to cause, essentially, potentially, a tulip bubble. And how while most of the community that invest in silver and gold and they buy precious metals, they have these very kind of, dire doomsday scenarios for how hyperinflation could occur. And I think all of those are legitimate. But what I tried to present was a hilarious scenario and a goofy scenario for how hyperinflation could occur. If this spot Ethereum ETF became approved, then all of a sudden, memes and NFTs and those goofy ape pictures and all those kind of wild stocks, what we call the meme stocks and later became the NFT bubble right after that in 2021, well, I had this theory that once the Ethereum ETF became approved, all of those holdings were going to suddenly become investable, essentially. And the NFTs were going to become, this kind of problem for the U.S. financial system, because we were going to find that all kinds of content, all kinds of previous memes, all kinds of viral tweets, all kinds of YouTube videos, even all kinds of content from the adult film industry could potentially become monetized, not for content advertising streaming, but for its investableness as art and equity. And that eventually the idea was that when the spot Ethereum ETF became approved, all types of digital content from years and years and years of social media creators and YouTubers and yes, even adult film actors and actresses was going to become investable, not for ad streaming, but for shareholder growth, essentially. The same way that art is investable for shareholder growth, but now this was going to be done through this kind of NFT meme mania craze. And so this all sounds kind of wild, but think about it. we have the spot Ethereum ETF seemingly being approved. I believe the count is this is a large wave 1 and ABC wave 2 correction. This is a wave 1, and within this count, this is an ABC correction. I'll finish up this count. I think you've kind of got the gist of my theory. I'll get back into it when we talk about silver. I'll go heavy into the counts right now. I think this is a large wave 1 and ABC wave 2 correction. So a large wave 3 is in progress. This large wave 3 is subdivided into 1, 2, wave 3, making the highest RSI reading on the weekly RSI, a shallow wave 4 at the 50% retracement. So I believe that this low of 2,846.412 is going to hold. A little tighter is going to be 2,864.348. The count is going to be from that low, a small wave 1 and a small wave 2 forms. That's the justification for that low. The big invalidation is 2,846. Yes, I know Ethereum's had a big day. Remember, I did predict all of these crypto wave 4 corrections ending a few weeks ago. So that's the other thing that I would add. I also predicted this and all of Bitcoin's rally from its super cycle low and the previous super cycle low. So I believe that essentially this is a large wave 1 and a wave 2. This is a huge wave 3. Its subdivision is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. I think Ethereum holds 2,864 as well as 2,846.412. And wave 5 can go all the way up to the length of wave 3, placed at the wave 4 low. That could take Ethereum up to 5,401. So basically 5,400. That's Ethereum. Let's talk about Dogecoin and Litecoin. I think, believe it or not, potentially better scenarios. By the way, and I'm long Litecoin, and I'm more long Bitcoin. I own a lot more Bitcoin than Litecoin. And my Bitcoin position is huge in the money. It's almost paid for itself entirely in dividends. I believe this is a large wave 1 and a large wave 2, and a big wave 3 is in progress. So I'll remind that around here, I tweeted and posted about Dogecoin an awful lot, and we saw what happened. I also did the same thing for Solana as well as Ethereum. So I've been, really running in Coinbase about 3 or 4 times, and this is all being heavily rewarded in my brokerage account with dividends, and a lot of positions like Coinbase and Nvidia have already paid for themselves. BITO has been quite the blessing. Anyway, Dogecoin, I think this is a large wave 1 and a wave 2. I have these time fibs connected by beginning with this small degree start and connecting it to this small degree wave 1 high. So I had posted around here that Dogecoin would begin a major rally. I don't try to be this specific. The Dogecoin would begin a major rally the week of April 29th. And yes, Dogecoin did begin a rally the week of April 29th. And actually, on April 29th, there was, in my opinion, a signal to a group. I posted a video about the signal to that group, and 1 week later, the rally began. I'm sure that's all a coincidence, though. So from that low, yes, I do believe Dogecoin is going above this high of 0.738 in the long term. I'm going to get a little more zoomed in. We're going to look at this 1-year chart for Dogecoin for a little bit. I think this is a wave 1. I'm going to have it be red, and a wave 2. And then I believe from this wave 2 low, this is a wave 1. This is a wave 2. This is a wave 3. It's very clear, making the highest high on the daily RSI. Shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. Now, there's a few ways to count this. So this is where Elliott wave can get a little bit of nuance. I'll give you guys the skinny. The important thing to note is that Dogecoin is the pinnacle of volatility. It's extremely volatile. That means that a wave 4 and a wave 2 can look very similar. What's that mean, pup? Well, when stocks kind of have implied volatility between, say, 15% to 40%, the indices to kind of the high beta names in the indices, typically a wave 4 doesn't really ever go past the 50% retracement. It doesn't really ever go past the wave 1 high. High beta names, wave 4 very commonly goes past the 50% retracement. It very commonly goes past the wave 1 high. And it can still be a wave 4. So that's kind of what I want to say. The reason that I bring that up is because if I measure the retracements of Dogecoin right here, we see that this correction ends slightly past the 50% retracement. Why do I bring that up? I'm going to label this as a 1, but I want to show what the more conservative count will be. This is a really important part of Elliott wave theory to understand. I'm actually going to go change some colors a little bit, so we're going to get us all in the same degree. I believe from this low, this is a large wave 1 and a large wave 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves from this low. To me, there's no debate in that subdivision. Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, another wave 1 and a wave 2? Or is it a wave 3 and a wave 4 correction? The answer is, for all intents and purposes right now, it doesn't matter. Because if one understands the daily count from this low, this is one, if this conservatively is a large wave 1 and a wave 2, this is wave 3 and wave 4, then wave 5 is either the length of wave 1 or the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. If it's wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, we see Dogecoin doesn't get close to making a new high above this wave 3 high, which is a rule that wave 5 has to do. So, if it's a wave 5, Dogecoin with its high beta, the target is probably the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. That would give a wave 5 target of up to 29 cents. A lot higher than the current price. So we'll talk about the other count too, but this is really the conservative count. What could it also be? I know it doesn't seem conservative. The invalidation is 0.12.121. What it could also be is that this is a wave 1 and a wave 2, and this is another wave 1 and another wave 2. The broader, larger degree count has an important implication with that distinction, because it would then say that if Dogecoin goes the length of this rally placed at this low up to 0.29242, that is just the minimum not wave 5 target, but it's the minimum wave 3 target. There'd be a shallow wave 4 correction, and then a wave 5 higher. And then that's wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse would end this blue wave 3. So that's more important. It's a little more advanced, going and zooming out to the bigger counts, but that's important to understand. If Dogecoin does get going, subdividing this large black wave 3 is going to be important to understand how it's subdivided within the cycle from this low. I believe it's going to be, this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. This conservatively is a wave 3 and a wave 4. The invalidation and the price target are basically the same, but I actually believe it's another wave 1 and another wave 2, and a wave 3 of a wave 3 will begin before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. Litecoin, in the long term, I own Litecoin. This is a large wave 1 and a wave 2. I believe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, a large wave 1 and a wave 2 for Litecoin. I'm looking for, and I own the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low to be a wave 3 of wave 3 destination, a minimum wave 3 destination of 425 in the long term before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. So I'll be able to afford a whole farm when I get there. I've always wanted that, to own, a farm, some cattle, some sheep. I want to own some cows, have some Shih Tzus roaming around, and if I really get this large wave 3, a shallow wave 4, and a wave 5 higher, hopefully I'll be able to, maybe, take a lucky lady on a date to one of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concerts. That's always been a goal of mine. Her international tour is about to end, and I'm a Swiftie, so I want to go see one of the Taylor Swift concerts. I don't want to go alone though, so I'm trying to find a date. If I make enough money on Litecoin, maybe I'll be able to. So I think from this low, this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. Maybe I have a little confirmation bias. I want to go see Taylor in concert before her tour ends. But I think this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. This is a wave 3, a shallow wave 4, and a wave 5 higher. I believe this forms a large wave 1 / wave A. This is a wave 2 / wave B. So I'm looking for a wave 3 / wave C to begin. I own Litecoin. I'm going to keep hodling it. I think it's a nest. I think I'll be back above my cost basis of 182 at some point. So we'll see. My broader crypto exposure, I'm so deep in the money on BITO and CONY and Coinbase. I can wait for Litecoin a little bit. And I think from this low, it's going to be worth the wait. So it might even be an important hedge. Who knows? Who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from this low. Very pretty. So yeah, I'm going to hold Litecoin. And we just broke above this high. Boom. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 1, wave A. ABC, wave 2, wave B. From this low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 1, wave 2. Broken above this high. I think this is a wave 3 of wave C in progress. So I'm going to keep holding Litecoin. Silver. I'm going to do a full deep dive into silver. And I'm just going to add, I own Pan American Silver and I own First Majestic Silver. In both instances, I'm slightly below my average cost basis right now. But I think if I keep holding, I'll be in the money on Pan American Silver and First Majestic Silver. Part of me wonders, though, is that enough? Is it time to start thinking about some of those, conspiracy theories that I have and that a lot of people have that drive them to buy physical silver, drive them to buy physical gold? Right now, I just own the derivatives, the stock holdings, and I try to, have cash on hand. I try to have physical assets on hand. But I don't own tons of silver and gold. I probably should. And, what I do and can do, though, in my brokerage account, to kind of mitigate that, I can own spot Bitcoin through a spot Bitcoin ETF. That's going to legally obligate me to own a portion of the Bitcoin held in a cold storage wallet of those funds. The other thing that I can do is I can own OUNZ, and that allows me for physical deliverables of gold for however much gold I own. So those are two things I can do. I think honestly, if some power grid outage or Armageddon scenario happened, gold and silver wouldn't be too much use. But I guess that the U.S. dollar officially collapsed, and we were all left counting what assets we had. And I had lots of cash, and another guy had lots of gold and silver. He'd probably be kicking my butt. So I would want to own lots of OUNZ at that moment. And anyway, those were all harebrained things. And what's the big thesis with silver? It's being naked shorted. And so the same thesis with AMC and GameStop and a lot of these so-called meme stocks. I really wonder, is there actually a little bit more going on? Is Ethereum spot ETF investment kind of going to lead to NFTs being investable securities? And when we have all kinds of memes, all kinds of videos, all kinds of viral tweets, all kinds of content. I mean, that's not even mentioning legitimate celebrities being able to monetize pictures, monetize, various things. I start to wonder if that's gonna be the real tulip bubble. And when people said that cryptocurrencies were tulips, I'm like, no, I don't think cryptocurrencies are tulips. I think they're going to cause tulips. And then what happened in 2021? When silver squeezed, they blamed it on the same Redditors who were so-called pumping the meme stocks. And then what happened shortly after that? We had the NFT craze. And even though the NFT craze was supposedly very obscure, Saturday Night Live had a big segment about it very early into the NFT craze. And Pete Davidson and Ellen DeGeneres were talking about NFTs. And I just kind of kept that. And Tom Brady and Larry David, they got into the NFT game. And so a lot of this stuff, I was like, wait a minute. How did all these big famous people get us introduced to the idea of NFTs? And, why did they say why did they say that Redditors, the same Redditors who were pumping up these meme stocks, were pumping up the price of silver? And I started to marinate on that for a little bit. And I did do a little bit of decoding. And I did, notice some interesting connections between the Silicon Valley Bank collapse and this NFT craze. And it seemed like they were trying to sync up, the cryptocurrencies. Even though Silicon Valley Bank, they didn't go under because of anything related to cryptocurrencies. Silicon Valley Bank went under because they invested in too many bonds at a really high price, a really high value on some leverage, and it didn't work out. It was the opposite of investing in cryptocurrencies, but this emergency bailout for Silicon Valley Bank was scheduled on March 11th. March 11th was scheduled to end on March 11th. March 11th was the same day in 2020 that the pandemic was officially declared. And I just always noticed this connection to the meme stocks. And then when they said the Redditors were pumping silver, I was like, wait a minute. Silver has always been associated with the death of the US dollar. That's why every silver bull who's a real silver bull, they own physical silver because they're buying it to be protected from the death of the US dollar. So the Silicon Valley Bank bailout, they made a completely made up connection to cryptocurrencies. It's BS. That didn't have anything to do with why Silicon Valley Bank went down. And then in 2021, they made up a complete lie that this wave one high was caused by the same Redditors that were pumping AMC and GameStop. And again, they correlated the death of the US dollar to cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and memes. So I was just kind of thinking, here we are, silver squeezing. Roaring Kitty is back, just like I said, that they were going to bring back the meme stocks and blame the death of the US dollar on Redditors and NFTs. And I even thought that was highly programmed in the fact that Miss Taylor Swift, I believe that she is playing Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz on the world stage. And that she was quote unquote following the yellow brick road to the home of the Las Vegas Raiders in the Super Bowl. I know this is getting a little woo-woo, right? But I have a lot of posts about how Taylor Swift was a victim of an AI smut picture attack the exact same day that the Federal Reserve officially announced that they were going to end the Silicon Valley Bank bailout. And all of those articles that talked about how Taylor Swift was a victim of a AI smut picture attack mentioned that she was being stalked by a man named David Crow in Seattle. And so David Crow Seattle is a perfect quadruple gematria anagram with Silicon Valley Bank. And then, what do you know? Taylor Swift is at the Super Bowl playing the 49ers, defeating the gold Rush 49ers at the Silver Team Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. And I was saying, wait a minute. Smutty Pictures, Silicon Valley Bank, Silver and Gold, Swift, like how SWIFT is the acronym for the SWIFT financial system, and how the SWIFT financial system is going through a lot of big changes. Like the ISO 2022 standard, like the Basel II standard, and how a lot of SWIFT related things are going to collapse. And how David Crow lived in Seattle. Taylor Swift caused an earthquake in Seattle with her concert. And the only other time a man-made artificial earthquake has been caused in Seattle was by Marshawn Lynch. And all the articles mentioned that. And Marshawn Lynch wore number 24. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Smutty Pictures are NFTs. Taylor Swift is the Swift financial system. And when the spot Ethereum ETF is approved, we're going to see all types of tulips come up. Because all types of memes, all kinds of content, all kinds of, PORN, all kinds of legitimate celebrities are going to be able to monetize their content. And it's going to create this whole market, just like the Simpsons episode predicted, where all of a sudden NFTs become worth $200,000, $300,000. So Taylor Swift getting attacked by Smutty Pictures the same day that the Fed announced they were ending the Silicon Valley Bank lending program. And Silicon Valley Bank is a gematria anagram with David Crow of Seattle, who was stalking Taylor Swift. And the elites know that in the second or third week of June, and more broadly this summer, the Seattle Beastquake is going to go off. The Cascadia subduction event earthquake is scheduled for this summer. And so that is going to cause the collapse of the Swift system, and Taylor Swift caused an earthquake in Seattle. And the only other person to do that was Marshawn Lynch, who caused the Beastquake, and he wore number 24. Like it's the year 2024. And then right before this all happened, Taylor Swift beats the 49ers, the Gold Rush 49ers, in the Silver and Black Las Vegas Stadium. And here we are today. Silver's ripping. The spot Ethereum ETF has basically been announced. It's going to be approved. And Roaring Kitty is back to blame the collapse of the fiat system on Redditors and NFTs. So is it time to get physical silver and really start taking some of these conspiracy theories seriously? I don't know. I really don't know. It makes me wonder, though. So I think this is a large wave 1, wave A, subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. A large wave 1, wave A, and ABC, wave 2, wave B correction. And then from this low, I think this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. The most important count, I think, for this video is that this is a wave 1 and wave 2. I'm going to move these fibs over here. This low is 16.19. This high is 27.98. And this low is 10.86. So I think from this low, this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. So I believe silver is incomplete until it goes up into the upper 30s, mid to upper 30s for wave 3, before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. So this is the path on the largest degree for SLV, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave A, wave 2, wave B, wave 3, wave C is subdivided into 1, 2, wave 3 up towards around, say, 37, 38, shallow wave 4, wave 5 higher. Within this low, I think the count is worth noting, because if this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, I think this wave 3, personally for me, if this wave 3 does end for silver and a wave 4 correction is allotted, I think I'm going to use this wave 4 correction to go buy physical silver. A good amount. Because that could be it. Maybe it is time to think about conspiracies. So I'm not going to go buy tons of physical silver here. I'll get into these next charts of Pan American silver and First Majestic silver in a second. But I think from this low, if this is 1, 2, wave 3, and I'm fortunate enough to get a wave 4 correction before a wave 5 higher, I'm going to get physical. Because I think that this impulse is part of a wave 3 of a wave 3. And looking at Pan American silver, looking at First Majestic silver, it could get ugly to the upside. And that was kind of always the theory, or the kind of the harebrained theory with silver and gold, that have always kind of been harebrained, but silver particularly. You know, they've always kind of seemed like crazy nuts, talking about why they're buying physical silver and how one day it was just going to go parabolic. And I look at the Elliott wave right now of Pan American silver, which I own, and First Majestic silver, which I own, and I think this is a large wave 1 and ABC wave 2. And yes, a wave 1 and a wave 2, a wave 1 and a wave 2, a wave 1 and a wave 2. We did end this low before 10.61. It turned around and it started to go parabolic within a wave 3. So if Pan American silver gets above this wave 1 high, not only will I be pretty in the money in a position, potentially that's just going to end the wave 3 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. And then that would just end this blue wave 3. There'd be a shallow wave 4 correction before a wave 5 higher. So potentially it does get a little zesty for silver in the long term. And the long story short is that both a lot of these silver mining companies, a lot of the other precious metals like platinum, a lot of the junior gold mining companies support the idea that silver might not just be going to the upper 30s in the long term for wave 3. It might not even be going to the upper 50s in the long term. We could actually see something that, unless someone's a dinosaur, they've never seen in their lifetime happen to silver. First Majestic Silver, Pan American Silver, Fortuna Silver Mines. Silver looks like wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 of wave 3 could have formed. Again, Fortuna Silver Mines, kind of echoing that message. A pretty perfect hit on this. That this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. Wave 1 and ABC wave 2. And from this low, this is another wave 1 and another wave 2. In the long term, a large wave 3 can be in progress. So if Fortuna Silver Mines is heading towards, the double digits, and Pan American Silver can be heading towards the 40s, and silver itself can be heading towards the 30s in the big picture, there's also a little bit of evidence that in the long term, silver could head towards the 50s. And if this isn't a wave A, it's just a wave 1. This isn't a wave B, it's just a wave 2. And this isn't a wave C, it's just a wave 3. Silver could have a shallow wave 4 correction. Wave 4 retests the wave 1 high in Elliott wave. And then wave 5 is either the length of wave 1 or the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. In the big picture, silver could go all the way up towards, the upper 80s. The mid 80s, 85 to 90. And that would be something to put on a silver foil hat before it happens.